None of my tennis losses, setbacks, or heartaches matched the stress and fear I experienced on December 30th, 2007. My name is Jeff Salzenstein, leadership speaker and performance coach, and I help leaders, humans, teams, organizations own their zone to unlock excellence, expand their capacity to handle pressure and the stress that comes with it. And I'm committed to it. And one of the big reasons, one of my big whys is because of what happened on December 30th, 2007. Leading up to that day, that pivotal moment in my life, I was attempting to still play pro tennis. I hadn't played pro tennis for 8 months because I was struggling with my health. My physical and mental health had declined because my heart and my head were out of alignment playing pro tennis. There was too much stress in my life, burnout, overwhelm, failure. And I was in limbo. I did not know the next step on my journey. Maybe you can relate to that sometime in your life, and maybe it's now, that you felt like you didn't know what was next, what was coming next. There was uncertainty. Maybe it was around your health, a relationship, or your work, your profession. Maybe if you have a child that's struggling, like we all have these challenges and we have these struggles. And this was a moment where there was so much uncertainty. I didn't know if I would ever play pro tennis again. And so at that time, I decided to go visit my Florida family, my father, my stepmother, and my 3 siblings. Now, my siblings are half siblings. We share the same father, but I would go visit them in Orlando multiple times a year when I was playing professional tennis because I was basing in Tampa, and I would drive to Orlando and I would spend time with my Florida family, and I loved them dearly. And I loved hanging out with these younger kids. You know, I'm an adult and my siblings are kids, big age difference. And the guy that I wanted to see the most, I love them dearly, but it was my brother, Eric. We had a unique bond, a special bond that was uniquely ours. 17-year age gap. He was born when I was a high school senior. And I remember walking into his bedroom that morning, sprawled out on the floor, passed out, a white foamy substance coming out of his mouth. My brother Eric was overtaken by a cocktail of drugs. And when I saw him lying helplessly on his bedroom floor, I made the decision right then and there to go all in to support his recovery from addiction. Maybe it was that connection that we had, that when he was born, I was asked to be his godfather. Maybe it was the fact that he looked up to me as a pro tennis player, that we both shared a deep love for basketball. Don't tell the sport of tennis, but I was having an affair with basketball. I love basketball. It was the thing that if I could have been an NBA player, I would have, but I wasn't tall enough, wasn't big enough, wasn't good enough. So I went with tennis. But Eric and I, we shared this common bond. And so when I saw him lying there, struggling in his addiction, I knew I had to do something. I had to kickstart this thing into action. If you equate it to the tennis world, it would be like serving and volleying, hitting the big serve and coming to the net to finish the point, being aggressive, not being passive, not being paralyzed by the moment. And in that moment, I picked him up. I put him into my car. I drove him to the hospital so they could pump his stomach. And he survived. Now that night, I was pleading with the nurses. I was pleading with the doctors, don't let him out of the hospital. He's not in any condition. They did anyway. But I can tell you that in that moment, when that all happened, I made the decision to quit. It was made for me. I couldn't do it any other way. I knew that in integrity and in my character and in my beliefs and for my family, I had to be there for him. There wasn't even a question or deliberation. This was the thing to do. And I would say that playing tennis, competitive tennis since the age of 7, picking up a racket at 4, playing competitive tennis at age 7, starting to win trophies at 8, being a national junior champion at 12, playing at Stanford, playing pro tennis for over a decade, you learn skills. You learn how to focus. You learn how to take action. You learn what the next point is to be played, the next best action, That skill is just embedded into every cell of my body, into my nervous system. So I knew that when I saw him lying there and struggling with his mental health and his addiction, that I had to do something. And that's what I did. We kickstarted into action, put him into rehab within 6 days, borrowed money that I didn't have to put him into rehab, moved back to Denver, Colorado, quit the pro tennis tour like that. It was over. And I announced to the world and the Denver tennis community that I was coaching now. The little kid from Colorado that had a dream of playing pro tennis was now back in Denver coaching. And I remember when I started giving these tennis lessons to these kids, teaching them the trade secrets to the pro tour, to the fundamentals, how you can own your zone on and off the tennis court, I knew I had found my home in my heart, that I was born to be a coach. All of the struggling, all the wins, all the losses, playing tennis, competitive tennis, all the lessons learned, I could now impart and share with others as a coach, as a tennis coach. I quickly realized that type of coaching, being of service to others, helping them own their zone, whether it's with their forehand or their serve or their backhand or their mental game, or to process their emotions, or now as a performance coach and a leadership speaker, getting on stages, working intimately one-on-one with people that have their own struggles, guiding them on their journey because of my experiences, and especially because of the experience of walking alongside my brother with his challenges. I have this unique perspective to be able to help people, because when you're an elite pro athlete, you learn skills that not many people learn. And then when you go into the deep end with mental health and addiction, when a family member struggles and you're intimately involved in the steps in that process, and learning about relationship dynamics and boundaries and family and enablement and trying to show love and tough love and all those things, this unique perspective allows me to be able to help others. So now I can be of service. And this is how I can be of service to the world, is helping people own their zone. And when I was in that moment with my brother lying on the floor, and then when I got him into rehab within 6 days, and then when he got out 90 days later and he came to live with me in my home, I was learning on the fly. I made mistakes. I did some things well. That's what it's all about, right? That's what it's about, to be uniquely human, is to be able to take our lived experiences, and this one was an intense one, a painful one, to be able to take these experiences and be able to share it with others. So my journey has allowed me to create a framework to help people physically, mentally, and emotionally, to restore the body, rewire the mind, reconnect the heart. These are the 3 zones, to install the fundamentals, to customize these fundamentals for each unique individual, but getting on stages and sharing with hundreds, thousands of people the journey, like how we can be our best and show up as our best selves. And so it was the pain, it was the struggle, it was my brother's story and me being a part of his story and his challenges that allows me to be able to share the Own Your Zone system, the framework, with you.